Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn a Trade. I am Kevin Tate, and right now I'm just sitting in a little traffic, sitting in a lot of traffic actually, coming from Boston. So traffic gets pretty tight here, especially around this time in the afternoon. But yeah, the name of this broadcast is How Would You Handle It? And I was thinking of something that I went through a few years ago, and I just wanted to share it with you, and then maybe after you hear it, after you hear the story, you can leave some comments or email me, or just leave a comment on how you would handle it. But what it has to do with is a job I was on, and it was a job that I had quoted for an install to install a four barrel Slurpee machine that just at a small bodega type store, um, similar to, it's a convenience store, but mom and pop owned store. And the owner of the store, he purchased the equipment himself. He purchased it off of eBay. So the thing that I needed to do was I needed to look over the equipment, but unfortunately he didn't get it. It didn't get shipped until late, and I wasn't able to really look over the equipment until it was time to go out and install it. So at that time, I had a person that worked with me on certain jobs, and he was trying to get into the business and learn. So he had went on a few jobs with me, few refrigeration jobs and a few C-store jobs, but doing maintenance, preventive maintenance on coffee brewers and ice makers. So I was able to, show him the ropes and on that end. And then he would also help me out on some of the installs. But at the same time, he was learning. So um, and he was getting, getting paid for the time that he put in too. So the time came up for us to do this install. Sorry about the noise, just all part of traffic here. But the time came and we went ahead and got to the site. The My helper, he was riding with me in my van, and I figured it's only a four barrel, so I wanted to I wanted to run new lines. I had been to the store to look at that part of it, so I already seen the bib rack, where the bib rack was at, and stuff like that. So I told him I do want to run new lines, so I had to run between 6 to 8 new lines. So I had a bundle already for that install, and we go in and start setting up, get the machine in place where it's going to go. And at this time, I'm not sure how it's going to work because it's it was a rebuilt machine that was bought on eBay. So you can never be too sure with something like that. So I went ahead and got it set up. Time came to we started running lines, and I ran the lines up high. I ran the lines up through his the ceiling. The had the the removable ceiling tiles, so I was able to run the lines through there, strap them up on beams, and then run it across to the floor. I say about it was probably around 30, maybe a 30-foot line run. So not too bad, nothing too major. But naturally, when you're running lines and you're running lines up in the ceilings, um, you're gonna run into your difficulties here and there. So just work your way through it. That's all. So I went ahead and we're running the lines and stuff, and I got to the point where I finally got the lines to the machine, and I was able to cut back what I needed, and then start getting into installing the lines on the machine. And my helper, he says he's got to run out to the truck to go get something. I think it was like something like a bottle of water or something like that, and then he had to go and call his girlfriend, tell his girlfriend he's gonna be getting in a little late because I told him that we still got to connect these lines, and then I'm gonna have to fill the barrels, make sure all the barrels are working, freezing down, nothing's leaking, there's no leaks and stuff like that. So we still had a little bit to do, and it was pretty late in the afternoon, close to like maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and then so he goes out to my van and to get his water or whatever, and then time passes, and I got the lines all connected now, and I'm filling up the barrels and stuff, and I said, so where is he? What's he doing? So then I go outside to go take a look and see what he's doing because I got drawn into that to the work that had to be done. So I wasn't really paying attention to how long he was gone until I looked and I realized that he hadn't come back. So I went in and went out, and I see him. He's in the van, and he's asleep. He's just knocked out. He's sleeping. And I go up to the van. I open the door, and then he says he jumps up and he's like, oh man, I knocked out. He's like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, you still need me? I'm not feeling too well. And I said, well, I mean, that's what you were here for. You were here to give me a hand with this, and I pretty much finished all of this myself. So I was like, what's the matter? Do you need to go home, or do I need to take you home and then come back to finish? And he's like, no, no. He's like, I'm just not feeling well, man. He's like, if it's all right, I'm just gonna try and rest it off a little bit if you don't got too much longer. And that really hit me because I mean, this was not like this person. It was like that. I don't know what happened, or what went wrong when he came outside. I don't know what got into him, but I said, well, man, this is not the way to do business. I mean, you're here to do a job. I was like, I understand if you're not feeling well, but you know, let me know something. Tell me, come back and tell me that at least I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna like um, sit back in the van until you get done because I really can't make it or something like that. But he said nothing. Then he's like, "Oh, my fault, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." But anyway, that got me pretty frustrated. So I just closed the door, went back, finished up the job, and then mind you, like I I paid this individual to help me, so that whole time I'm just steaming, like what the hell has he gotten into him? He never did anything like that before. So I get through the job, get paid, and then it dawned on me like he hardly did anything, and I'm gonna pay him for all of this time that he's been sleeping, and that I struggled with that for a little bit, because I struggled with that after, from the time I collected the money to the time I got him home. And we really didn't have much words to say. I really didn't have much to say to him after that. But um, bottom line is, I did I did end up paying him for his time. But I explained to him that I'm paying him for the time that he worked with me, and I'm not paying him for the time that he slept. So a lot of people that I tell this story to, they understand where I was coming from, but a lot of them say they would have handled it different. A lot of them say they wouldn't have paid him at all, and I just couldn't do that. I just, I mean, at that point in time, honestly, I did feel that way. But when I looked at it, he did help me pull the lines. He did help me get the machine on the counter and stuff like that. So I paid him for that time, but I didn't pay him for the time that he slept. And after that, he was an apprentice, and he was trying to get his certification and stuff. But in his situation, he had to have a certain amount of actual work hours on refrigeration, or on air conditioning. And a lot of times I could sign off on him for that kind of work, but in this case, I didn't sign off for his time that he put in for that, because he spent most of the time sleeping in my van. So my question is, how would you handle that? That's my question. Is leave me your what you would do as the lead on a job like that, and how would you leave it? The way I left it is, we were always friends. We were friends from a young age, and we pretty much grew up in the same neighborhood and stuff like that. And I know his family well and stuff. So we've always been friends. But I had to separate the work from our friendship at that point. So I really never brought him on to any other jobs that I did or anything like that after that. But we did remain friends. Um, so that's my question: is how would you handle that? Just leave it in comments or something. If you want, you can email it to me, learnedtrade1@gmail.com. But I'm curious to see like what others think about that, or how others feel about that, and how you would handle it. So that was just a quick little thing that I just thought of, and I wanted to share that with you. And hopefully, you guys can shoot me some comments and let me know how you would handle that. All right, but I'm gonna get through this traffic here, and we'll see you all soon. May you all stay well and be blessed.